Hey everybody, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Looks like we got a full house this morning. Infinity Wooden first, holy moly. Dex, Valerie, John, David Rungemer, George, JB, Larry, Francois, Val, Arturo, Sergio, Ben, Mark, Michael, Kevin, Merle. Gotta scroll down. Terrence, Peter, Joseph, Jan, Darren, Gary, Pat, Ted, Kathleen, or Carlene, excuse me. Got a sister-in-law, Kathleen. Um, Alan, Tim, Ray, Michael, Alan, Don, Maurizio, Sugbear. Good morning, everybody. How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? Svenborn, good to see you. So, yesterday was interesting, wasn't it? We pulled right down, like all day, we dropped right down to that support level I drew on the chart on ES and stopped. We didn't step across the line. That was interesting. Looks like we're gonna rally today, possibly. Maybe get that higher high. That was an interesting move yesterday. I was very intrigued all day long. I was like, are we gonna step across the line? We pushed it, and definitely overnight we tried to go lower, and then this morning, popping. I mean, look at this thing. Look at this right here. Somebody drew a big freaking arrow right there. Said if we get below those lows, right over there, any kind of continuation, we're going lower. But so now what do we have in store right now? Well, look at this right here. High to low. The resistance zone comes in right here. Same pattern as always. We met downside support, rallying back up. We're at the roadmap line here. Push up higher. And this is a 30-minute, smaller time frame. All these patterns work just the same, all the time frames. So you wonder why I use the daily? Because it's less decisions, you know. But I do watch these smaller time frames, especially for something like ES. I'm actually down in the 1 minutes a lot of times, watching for these reversals to set up and form, and sometimes even a tick chart, like a 377 tick. You probably have no idea what that is, most of you. It's every 377 trades, ticks in the market, and every time the price fluctuates slightly, that's a tick. So every 377 ticks, then it makes a candle. It's faster than a minute. And during like FOMC meetings, you can watch that thing. It has no time. Like every 377 trades, it makes a candle, so it can like blow out a pattern. And yeah, why no ticks? Because you don't pay for data. Like you have to pay for data to get a tick chart. So it can be very crazy. Yeah. And different tick. Tick TICK, not TIC. Anyway, tick tacks are pretty good though. Donald, good morning. Hey. And so there we have it. All right. 30-minute, plenty fast. 15. I mean, you can still see the same thing. Pushing through the 15-minute roadmap line. 30-minute right there. That's kind of where I left it yesterday, was on the 30 minutes. You can see the pattern clearly. Dropping off the high, retracing, hitting that 786, turning down lower, bottoming out, just right the same place and turning higher. This could be that could have been an A, a B, and that could have been the C. And we wrapped it up late last night. That could have been the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. So that could have wrapped it up. That could have wrapped up a correction. We could actually go higher high at this point. We could push right on out to this 46.22 area. Or higher even. I mean, pull that over to the lowest low. Yeah, just slightly lower low. Yeah, 46.23. Doesn't change much. So if we break above this zone is the key zone right now. That zone. Let's remove these arrows. If we break above that zone, likely we're coming right back up here. All right. Hey, Kimberly's here, the boss, my lovely bride. Good to see you, my dear. Oh, you hate dear. Good to see you, my love. Anderson, good morning. So there's the, I don't usually start out talking about the potential of the market, but this is where I sit all the time. This is where I'm watching this like, I don't know, 70% of my day. I have these up on my chart. I actually watch ES, NQ, Russell, oil, and gold. 5 charts sitting up. Some of you have seen the screenshot before. Hey, Terry's here. Holy moly. That's my other sister-in-law. Everybody's here. We're going to have to behave today. Anyway. So, that's S&P 500. That's kind of the outlook. If we turn down here, game on for going lower. But, this could... So, the other potential... The one potential is that wrapped up. The other potential is this is a 1, 2, and then we get the 3 down, which goes way on down. Way on down. That'd be like, 4 or 5. 3 comes way down here, then 4 would be down here, and then 5 would be on down the road. Right around that 4,400. So this is a key area right here. Just want everybody to understand. Key. If we break above, probably going higher high. If we don't, bounce off, probably coming on down the toilet. All right, any questions on that? There's Infinity. You're late, Infinity. You're late. Anyway. So, that's what we got. Simple as that for now. Simple but not simple, right? So, first move down, retrace. If we hold the lower high, probably turn it down. If we break above, going up here. And the market opens at about 7 minutes. So we'll see what happens. All right. S5FI. Remember what I said yesterday about S5FI? Anybody? Look at this pattern. We pop up, we dip, then we get a higher. Popped up. We actually dipped below 80. Just barely, but we dipped below 80. Do we get the pop up? And then roll? Could happen. Could happen. That could go up till FOMC meeting next week. Wednesday. Then we can see that. Trader SLA, watch yesterday's video. And why the projection? Why the downward projection? What I gave you both on ES just now. That was up and down. That was the decision point, up and down. If you don't understand, it's Elliott wave theory. If we break above here, we're going up, and the projection is up. The correction's over. That was an ABC. There's the potential that this is a wave C trending bigger correction down to the support, which, if you look over here, we came up, and I've been talking about this for days and days, that we're due a 3 to 5% correction. So do we get one more squeak up before we break down, or do we just head down? I don't know. It's a little bit of a coin flip until we resolve that price right there. If we break above, probably going up here. If we break down, probably going in the correction now. That's how it goes. So S5FI, probably my favorite market oscillator. might do that little squeak. We did it right there. We did it over here. Actually got a little extra squeak. We did it from a lower point here. Didn't quite break 80 that time. Did it just like, did it right there. Of course, we got a third bounce. That was just riding. That one came up, retraced deep, and then popped. Like that one. Popped above. Popped the second one. And that one popped above, retrace. That looks a lot like what we're potentially doing right now. Pop above, retrace, just barely. So a lot of times we get that double pop. That's the exhaustion move right there. Just a, JTC's pattern. It's kind of like that movie, Sixth Sense. I see dead people. Well, JTC's patterns. I see patterns. So it'd be kind of weird if I saw dead people though. We get this double move quite often. And that one, pop up, pop up again. That was a lot of riding the top on that move. And we're all the way back to 2013, so this is kind of glad I don't see dead people, babe. Have to admit, that'd be freaking me out. So right there, potentially gonna pop it again and drop it. And the matrix. All right. Any questions on that one? Fairly simple. Fairly simple at this point. And looks like we're going to open positive on S&P after that choppy retrace there. So I don't know. Anyway, that's the story I brought for today. Circle back. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument. No stocks, no options, no bonds, no cryptos, no forex, no futures. Don't buy them, don't sell them, don't long them, don't short them. You have a substantial risk of loss if you do that sort of stuff. If you desire personal financial advice, that's not me. I'm not giving you advice to do jack squat, all right? Except be careful with your money, which I think is sound advice for anybody. Be careful. Nobody watches out for your money more than you do. But if you need that advice from a third party, hire and consult a financial advisor, has a fiduciary duty to give you advice based on your financial situation. All right. Whew. All that said, I brought something fun. Let's check this out. Check this out. Are we like CTAs? Are we like the algos, the computerized trading algorithms? Look at this. Retail traders are increasingly chasing the algos. This started back here in 2019. Actually, it started back here in 2017. Kind of went through a lull. And increasingly, the tighter correlation between global macro gains and what the CTAs are doing is this the CTAs are coming in line with where the money's made? Or is it the fact that we, the traders, are starting to be more in line with the CTAs? Or is it just a combination of both? We're just meeting in the middle. That's the big question. But remember, the last couple of days I've been talking about the fact that the CTAs were projected to be selling in a lot of conditions in the market. There's like no conditions where it's like a big buy. So if we're coming in line where we're highly correlated with the CTAs and the CTAs do a big sell, connect the dots, da 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 da. That means that the money to be made is on the downside. All right. Now this is also interesting right here. If we look at this, CTA, computerized trading algorithm, trend following strategies have become more and more fragile. And this is one for you, Goose. You were talking about the fragility of the system right now. This ties back into my conversation the last few days, how VIX is dead. Yeah, right. Just, VIX is not pricing the risk is what's happening. It's not dead. It just gets sold like crazy when we get a pop because everybody knows that's a money-making proposition, I kind of proved it the last time. I think several of you got in on it. So, the fragility of the system right here going up like crazy. The computerized trading algorithms been kind of trading about the same amount of money for years here. We're not setting some new record high. They've been hanging out with about $350 billion that they push in and out of the markets. But system risk, system fragility, as they call it, reaching epic proportions here. And these are my Bank of America Global Research Trading Desk. These are both from Bank of America. Could not find the CTA estimate from Bank of America. I found these. These are going to be out of the same freaking report. I just couldn't find the exhibit like 3 and 4 that have the CTA positioning. I was like, come on, man. Where's the other page? Anyway, so this was interesting to me too. That the got to be careful. We could see VIX much higher. All right, any questions? I don't have a lot of extra. I've got these 2 charts that I pulled out of the report. I can post the. I bet you they made this article public on Zero Hedge by now. It's pretty good stuff. So, all right, moving on. Calendar. We have coming up this week, the rest of the week. What's today? Thursday already? Whew. Where'd this week go? We had unemployment claims hitting this morning, coming in line. We have tomorrow the jobs report and preliminary consumer sentiment and preliminary inflation. So this could be a market mover. Could we pop today and drop tomorrow? Yeah, we could. Could we pop on this news up to those levels I was just talking about? Yeah. So if you don't know, ES is the S&P 500 futures. Why do I talk about ES instead of just SPX? Because SPX stops trading at 4 p.m. and then doesn't trade again until the market opens, which it just did, I think, based on all the alerts. Yeah, 9:30. Then we trade again until 4. So 70% of the time, SPX isn't moving. But ES moves all night, so that's why I watch ES. All right. Now, NQ, different story, different thing, different set of numbers. We actually peaked out back here, and we've been just drifting off lower. Now, we're rallying a little bit today, but it's only taken half back off the range of yesterday. So far, inside candle doesn't mean nothing. Inside candles are indecision. We're getting inside candle on both indexes here. Yeah, I look at the top and the bottom, and if you stay inside with the body, you're pretty much an inside candle. Indecision. So unless we break above up here, kind of indecision. Looking at Russell. This one's interesting. Kind of peaked out yesterday. Look at the range yesterday. And then today, showing a little softness, just blurring up the no gap, no trade for OBA. We got a nice win yesterday. Nice win. Triple digit gains. Now, is this a corrective move up, or was this a 5-wave up and now we're due a retrace? That's the question. That's the question indeed. So a wave 2 retrace off this one, if it is indeed bullish, would be somewhere in this zone probably. Right over here. Retrace it back down. Could hold here and push it up again though. Be common to hold the roadmap line. So we're getting in that zone where we can go higher from here. So starting to negate this downside potential. I like it, but so far nothing cleared up all the way. Still have the possibility to go lower. That line in the sand still way down there. This will be the first line of support at this point. If we get if and when we get a retrace, we're going to get one eventually, just maybe from higher levels. So CL pushed on down right into the zone. We did not breach 69. Somebody said, a couple people freaking out yesterday, like, JT, it's in the 69s. Yeah, we didn't go below 69 though. We got, it's just like the market. We came right to the edge, kind of feel across, but didn't really step across, just like ES. Right down, pushing the limits. Did go back below that downtrend line. Was that the final move? I don't know. Not sure yet. Definitely got below all this stuff. Now, these consolidation areas are going to be resistance going higher. That could have been the final move. I mean, I said it was possible to come down here. If we get below that 69 area, starts being likely we're coming on down here into 50s, probably. And it could take a while. I mean, we could be out till sometime next year working on that drop. All right. The Magnificent Seven is definitely a driver of the market. You say the FANGs, but it's Magnificent Seven at this point. Talking about Microsoft, NVIDIA, Tesla, Google, Apple, whatever the other two are. I sit here and try to name them. Then I get messed up on them. Gold, that could be the retest of the breakout. Do we go higher from here? If we don't overlap that, that's actually a potentially bullish 1, 2, 3, 4, and we could expect a 5. The 5, usually, typically, not always. This is not like a rule. It's just like a, I don't know what you call it. Like a typical, usually kind of happens type of situation, I guess. Elliott wave-wise, wave 1, wave 5, typically kind of match the same size, and it is bigger. Wave 3 was the biggest at this point, so that'd be 3 very consistent impulse waves, with wave 3 just being barely bigger. So we may see this top out right around that 2200 that I've been talking about for months and months and months and months and months and months and months. So we could top out there, do a deeper retrace back down in this zone, like I talked about. So we'll see what happens there on gold. But that looks like a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, holding above here. If we dip below that, something else playing out. If we just go from now, 2200, it's pretty strong. Bitcoin consolidating after that giant freaking move. And we may consolidate here until some spot ETF news, and that could result in a pullback. Of course, we could very well just retrace back to the trend line, the channel, trend channel, and then go on another run. Or it could come sideways. Another potential path could just go sideways until we meet that channel. Then we break down or break up. I don't know. Lots of potentials. Don't see much more upside right now until we recharge a bit. We tend to do these crazy moves and then we recharge for a week or two, maybe drift higher. I mean, look, big up, drift, breakdown. Big up, drift, push up a little higher, then correct. I mean, I can do this a bajillion times. And the same pattern over and over where we get these big pushes up and then we retrace it. Big push up and then we retrace it. Big push up and then we retrace it. Even when we were making positive action, big move up, sideways, move up, sideways, move up, retrace. Retraces are part of the game, so we're going to have to retrace, recharge, reset to be able to go higher. Just part of the game. Even in the big moves back here, we'd get a big up, recharge. Get a big up, recharge. Get a big up, recharge. Get a big up. And that was in the land of the peak. So last time we made the all-time high. Even there. Up, retest. Up, retest. So, alrighty. Hey, babe, Chris is calling me. I can't answer him right now. The roofer. And Ethereum is sitting there just under 2,300. Dollar bouncing off the roadmap line. Do we get the deeper? So this was the big thing. We pop up, retest that roadmap line. Do we turn lower? If we break below this trend line, going down. If we just retrace it, hold some support, break back through the roadmap line, we're probably coming up, retest this zone, possibly up to 108. All right. What's actually moving today? Refresh the list. MLGO, look at that, nice pop. That looks like it went from being nothing to getting exciting, but look over here. It's done it before. Did it right here, did it over here. What goes up tends to come right back down. What goes up crazy, pop, drop, dead, pop, drop, dead, pop, probably drop. Don't chase it. CERE. That's a biotech, pharma, medtech pop on whatever news. Looks like AbbVie might be interested in picking them up. I don't know. That can come right back down on the deal falling apart. Google is, wow, and that's a nice move on Google right there. Potential higher low, push out to targets, say 143, 147, maybe the prior high resistance there. Very nice, very nice. DG, still working on this reversal situation. Still has that large gap to go contend with. And I don't know at this point. I don't know. Got that gap right there to contend with. PALL. That's physical palladium, and that's kind of hunting for a bottom. I mean, look, golly. For a metal that's industrial in nature, that just keeps going down the toilet. All right, let's see. Where? I've got it on here somewhere, I thought. Yeah, there it is. Can't remember. It's PA or palladium. Yeah, it's got long-term support at 860. That may continue on down. Look at platinum too. These are not very bullish right now for being industrial metals. Tells you something about the worldwide economy. Alrighty, circling back. AMD. Stuck right in the zone. If it can pop, that's 143. If it drops through this area, probably come back to test the roadmap line and the downtrend line. Downtrend of these highs. It does look potentially bullish, but we haven't had a retrace off that low right there, so we may need a retrace before we can go on up. Could go as high as 150. BRZE, That looks like it's going to come back down to the roadmap line after making that spike. SMCI, while up today and making the morning mover list with a 389, 350, 389 pop off the low. Still looks like weak lower highs. Might push to a lower low. I don't know. I mean, that's lower low, lower low, lower low. And do we get a lower low again? Or do we hold a higher low? And that's kind of the signal that the reversal after hitting the roadmap line. I don't know exactly until we do it. ALB continuing to be weak, may push lower. Save Foods, SVFD, nice pop, but we've popped before. We've done it before. We can do it again. Pop and drop right back down. Reverse split. That's not bullish. DDOG, don't get caught up in some of this gnarly stuff. All right, hitting its head right on the resistance. Been the resistance for well over a year. May retrace back to the roadmap line. Tesla, that's showing some weakness. As long as we're below that trend line, this chart pretty much spells it out. I've said it for days now. As long as we're below this trend line, it's been intact since July. Lower highs. Be careful. Bias is down unless we break above the trend line. My request show is on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Otherwise, you can request stuff in Discord, and as I have time, we can talk about it and ask other traders about it. NTES hanging out at the roadmap line, could bounce, but we're gonna have to get a move up through 114 to get the continuation of 122, 128. VRNT up to the roadmap line. That's resistance. Has a giant gap down right there. Be careful. That can be the top, and we can make a lower low. IT. Been a lot of IT having trouble. They do make some money. Just curious. I've been in business a long time. So historically, about a 3 price to sales, and we're hanging out at 1.7. So either they're having a lot of trouble, and they took on some debt. Got most of it whacked down. I do know how to read a balance sheet. I just don't. I learned that along the way, and most of the time companies just don't move with that. So opportunity for this to potentially double from here and get a price of sales back in the 3 area, but for some reason, the market's not liking it. And that's still a bearish chart. We may go lower. ASLE. Sideways, choppy, gnarly crap. Don't trade stuff like that. Look, the upside's only 23. The downside, 10. We're sitting at 16. So there's no trend, in fact, the trend is kind of down. Look, the roadmap line going down. Be careful. This thing just going to keep hanging out with the roadmap line. Monday, potentially getting off the lows. That was cool. There we go. Made the low back here in about a year ago. And trouble getting through this 189 area where we gap down over here. See that gap down? These gaps are resistance zones. We went back and retested it quickly, but then now still having trouble getting through that gap. We'll have some other highs to get through. 232, 311, 413. Now, notably, look at Monday. It's packaged software, right? Big tech. If we look at that and compare it to QQQ, off of the lows, from back here, yeah, percent-wise, it's doing pretty good, but it's not anywhere like off the highs. This one was overly beat down and is not coming back at all compared to where we topped out back here in late 21 in big tech. You know, S&P topped out early January, but big tech topped out like November. Big tech back near the highs, QQQ, but Monday still down 50%, not having it. So this one's underperforming. If we look at it, it doesn't have a lot of debt. So obviously they're having some trouble. Got huge operating expenses. Price to sales at 13, came down from 30. That makes sense. We were at 30, came down to 10. I always say, price to sales over 20. Watch out. So, where do I get these? Where do I get the fundamentals? Look, right here. You click on the earnings, and you just say more financials. Boom. All these cool charts. And you can look at the statements, the statistics, dividends, you know, all the stuff. So right there. I love TradingView because it's all just like, it's all here. Everything you need to know. You don't have to go searching on other websites, you know. Anyway. And you can even compare, you can do math. I mean, it's like so many features. Like, I don't even use all the features. Like, this thing is like a supercomputer, and I just play on it like it's a calculator. So, anyway, right there. That's Monday. Not performing like big tech was my point on that. So, SMTC, giant gap down over here. That's going to be major resistance. And we're just coming off the lows, still below the roadmap line, downtrend. When the roadmap line is going, pew, well, more like, what, this way? Pew, that way. There, it's all backwards for me. Going down, then that's a downtrend, all right? If it's going up, that's an uptrend. So we're pointing down, it's a downtrend. Watch out. Yeah. So, you know, Goose offers his opinion on Monday, but I mean, it's not like I'm trading it. I was just interested because, like, Amazon's lagging the QQQ. SQM, that one, again, like, the roadmap line can be easy. Like, we're below it, it's pointing down, that's a downtrend. Don't buy stuff doing that. All right? MSTR got up to that potential target zone that I was talking about. Could we push it to the logarithmic target? 616, possibly. I booked my profit and got out of the way. Stepped off for now. I don't know. This is kind of a high flyer. Lots of implied volatility. It's kind of expensive to play with options. CXM. Oh, look what happens. Get up. Came up shy of the target and then drop. Remember, stuff under 10, low price stuff, doesn't always follow the patterns, but that's what can happen. That's another package software. Underperforming from the highs. Actually, it didn't even top back in late 21. It was already on the way down. VEV, VEV. In the morning show, I'm basically looking for stuff moving for today. I'm not really trying to look at long-term plays, really, most of the time. Looking for what might be setting up today. So VEV is down, probably going lower, 131. AI. Ooh. That one probably coming down. That could have been. That's starting to look like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could get a retrace. Like, ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So here's what we got. So if this completes, that'd probably be an A or a new trend, one or the other. That looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we complete this down here, we may retrace back to here. And then do that. Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like. Coin. Found the resistance. Kind of glad I booked the profit on that one. I did not have the time to sit through another correction. Yeah, it looks like we want to retrace. Be careful on that one. We're closer to the target than we are. That means higher risk for getting a retrace. Said a different way. Car, budget, Avis. Don't. Look, there's nothing to trade here for me. Nothing I do likes to trade that. That's just sideways crap. Gonna continue to be sideways crap. TTW, this one's been on the list quite often. And looking like we could get one little squeak up, but we may roll. We break down below that orange zone, probably come back to the roadmap line. Chewy. Needs to reach down to 14. Nike. Still working on the reversal. Do we turn down from this point, though? If we do, we're in for a bigger retrace. If we can break above, we're going on up. Bias for the day. Maybe pop that higher high. And I'm going to have to go because I've got a webinar coming up here in a few minutes. I got to call the roofer back. And I'll see you later. Have a great day out there, everybody. Come talk to me in Discord if you want. Link is in the description.